That's my poor excuse of a letter card sign. Hi, and welcome back to Joe's DIY. No need to adjust your streaming device or your phone. I am indeed recording from a VHS tape. The reason for that is because today I'm actually going to do a demo and also a review of two video editing products that were probably used in the late 80s and early 90s. This would be the SIMA video editing for picture and sound, and also the Screenwriter Plus, which is also basically a keyboard that you could type messages on the screen as you're editing your video. So we're going to go ahead and take a good look at these, and yes, I'm going to record the entire episode in VHS, and it'll probably be in full screen, really bad resolution, but this is just an experiment for today, just to kind of see what this whole video will look like. So we're going to go ahead and take a close look at these, and then we'll try them out. Okay, so we have the Sema Video Edit Master Plus. This is an editor, picture enhancer, and audio mixer. So you got very subtle effects here. I mean, nothing out of this world. Picture enhance, so you can accelerate the gain, the detail, and the color going through the switch. And then there's a fading option here. And then the sound mixer is this side of the board. So you have the AV source, you have your musics, your mic, and your out. I'm not sure if the mic is for. I'm pretty sure that the mic is for dubbing. So if you're dubbing something, you should be able to adjust the sound as you're dubbing away. Excuse me. And then for the music, I mean, I'm sure if you're playing some music into the video, you should be able to add that on there with the soundboard. And then the out, I guess, would be to listen to the actual stuff that you're recording, so you could adjust that. And then a couple of switches at the top, so you could do a split screen, and also a black and white switch. So that's kind of wondering what that looks like. It's supposed to be some kind of fader. And then this one's to fade the video and fade the audio. And then you have several sources for the sound on this part of the board. And then this is to adjust the volume as you're recording if you're using headphones. Should be pretty interesting. So that's the Sema Video Edit Master Plus. And here you have the Screenwriter Plus. This actually gives you a model number. This is the SCG-2 Screenwriter Plus. So this is where you can actually type text into your video. So, you know, nowadays we have software for that, but back in the late 80s, early 90s, presumably you could type characters in there instead into a video while you're editing it. This would be pretty useful if you needed to insert some kind of caption while you're doing your editing. So we're also going to test this out and see how well that works. So right now I'm just going to go out and get some recordings, and then that way we can experiment a little bit with some VHS tapes, and then I'll do the editing here, and I'll hook it up to my capture card on my PC, and then we can actually see what's this capable of. So let's get to it. Okay, so here we're back in 2022. I had to ditch the camcorder because it just wasn't giving me a good image, and also I just wanted to make sure that everyone got a chance to see the board in HD, because I noticed looking back at some of the footage that it was quite blurry. So just wanted to show you. Let me see if I can get a little closer. So there's the board there. This is the mixer, and this is the actual screenwriter. There you go. Okay, so let me kind of explain what I've done here, because I did have to think about this quite a bit just to make sure that I got everything correct. So what I've done is I actually daisy chained the mixer and the type
writing keyboard thing. So I daisy chained them, and I also got the VCR going through this, so that way, the video from the VCR will go directly to this sound mixer or video mixer, and then it'll go into the keyboard so that we can type messages into the actual screen, and it'll go directly into my VidVox. See if I can show it right there. My VidVox capture device that has composite and S-video. So momentarily, I'll just show a comparison of the video through the mixer. So the video going through the mixer versus what you just get from the VCR by itself. Okay, so here we have the capture video going through my capture card, and this is just what I recorded off the VCR from into digital, my converter. So this is basically exactly how the VCR would be playing this, not hooked up to the this board, and then this on the right side is going to be everything hooked up through the video mixer, and we'll see the difference there. So let me go ahead and press play.
Okay, so we are out and about.
So you can definitely see. Let me go ahead and.
Just wanted to give you a good look of the.
So you can definitely see there's a difference. I think that the capture directly from the VCR, the lines are a little bit softer. I think the blues are a little bit more bluer. I noticed that the board makes the colors a little bit greener, and I do have the color set all the way up to high because actually that was the closest I could get it to what I was seeing on my left screen. So this board will make your colors a little bit greener from what I can see. Okay, so I just started setting this up. Hopefully it syncs correctly. Let me go ahead and pause the video just for a second so I can explain what I'm going to do. So right now, as you can see, I have the color all the way up to the I guess the higher end. When I started messing around with this board, I actually had everything in the middle, and I don't know if you can see that on the screen, but it kind of made everything very, very white. I thought that by moving the black and white feature, it would change that, but it didn't. So I had to pull, I couldn't really get it to match the screen. I think the higher I did it, the more yellows I got, or the more yellow saturation. So I kind of, I couldn't really do it at the middle. So I had to go all the way pretty much to the top to get the color just right. I did try to mess with the detail. This is what the detail does basically. So, that makes it a little bit more, it makes it more blurred. This one increases the detail. So, I mean, you could have it all the way up and it'll definitely make everything sharper. And then this is the gain. I'm not exactly sure what that does. I mean, I can so I guess it makes it a little, putting it all the way at the bottom makes it a little bit lower. Putting it all the way at the top, So, I mean, you could have this on full blast pretty much. And, I mean, it's going to make it look a little bit better. Let's go ahead and see some footage here, because I've had it on pause. So as you can see, I mean, you get a very decent picture here. I'm not so sure if I would be happy with those, the yellowish hue that you get from the video, because as you notice, the original VCR had a bluer sky. I mean, it was a beautiful day, the day that I went out there, taking a couple of pictures of the San Bernardino Mountains. But, unfortunately, it just, it didn't really make that true. And then we see the darker colors. Yeah, I mean, I wish this board had a few more options, because it really I mean, I think it only looks good when you have it kind of like, you know, all the way up. Okay, so moving over to the Screenwriter Plus, I'm going to go ahead and just put aside that board. For some miraculous reason, I started getting audio all of a sudden, so we'll be able to listen to this video with audio. But I'm going to go ahead and turn it on, turn it off, and then turn it back on so you can kind of see kind of like the little intro screen that it has. So that's basically the demo program that will pop up as soon as you turn this thing on. So basically, you can, if you're editing video, you could type in whatever message you want to put on here, and that's basically a good idea of the font that you're gonna get. So it just kind of goes on and tells you, you know, all these characters that it has and stuff like that, you know. And you know, the font comes in different sizes that you can adjust. But we'll get we'll get into that in a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the demo. I'm gonna go ahead and it tells you to press mode 3 times and then type in your video. But I actually made a message ahead of time because it's actually not the easiest thing to type with this keyboard. So I just decided to type a message ahead of time so that we can play it on the video as we're going. But I'll do a quick demo of how to type a message. So I'm gonna go ahead and press mode 3 times. Okay, and then so that's the message that I typed. So all you got to do is you know, if you're getting this for the first time, you would have to type in mode 3 times, and then it'll give you a chance to type a message on the first edit page. So I already did that. And then if you want to move on to do another page, you just press page and then the number 2 and enter. So page 2, enter. So this will take you to the second message that you'll write. So I'm going to go ahead and do a page 3 so that we can actually do a message. So I'll do page 3, enter. Okay, so you know, during the time that I was there, you know, there was no people, so I'll just type in I don't know where. Let me make sure this is capital caps. So where are, and like I said, this is not the easiest keyboard to use to type messages, but where are all the people? And I'll put a question mark if question mark is something here. Okay, so after that, you press mode once, and then it gives you options to put animation in there. The first one that defaults to is a cut in and a cut out, so I'll demonstrate that. So all I gotta do is press mode one more time, and then we'll do page 3, enter, and that'll just pop out and then pop out. And that kind of went kind of fast because I set it up for 1 second, but you can adjust the weight or the speed. So let me show that. So page 3, enter. Okay, so page 3. Okay, so I can go ahead and change the wait time, so I can make it, you know, wait. See. See, I think it goes all the way up to 7-8 seconds. So let's go ahead and put it there for a little longer, and then it'll cut out. So I'll go ahead and press mode again, and then let's try the demo. So page 3, enter. So you can see that that'll stay there for a total of 8 seconds. And then this is set at automatic, so if you want it that way, you could do it that way, but all it'll do is do one animation after another, which I'll demo. But I found that if you're editing video, you probably don't want that, because obviously your messages should come out when you want them to come out, not automatically. So that might be a bit of an adjustment. So let me go ahead and show you one more animation, or a couple more animations. So I'm gonna go ahead and press mode and then page 3 mode again. So I think one of the better ones that really reminds me of the 80s is the basically the text that moves from left to right. So let me kind of show that one. So that would be the shift lines shift, and then let's go ahead and try that one. So I'm going to go ahead and press mode again. So let's see it on the screen there. Page 3, enter. So as you can see, it kind of scrolls at the bottom very slowly. So that's kind of cool. It does do a funny kind of zoom one. Let me see. Yeah, it'll zoom the text in, and and if you want to do an out, so an outro, you just press out, and then you can do also zoom out. I don't know. And you can also adjust the speed. So let's make this. Let's go ahead and 3 speed. Okay, I'll press mode one more time. So we'll have to take a look at it. So page 3, enter. So it just zooms in your text really, really close. And then it'll zoom it out. So, I mean, I guess it would be somewhat useful if you figured out a good way of doing that effect. So, that's a good look at the San Bernardino Mountains. Let me go ahead and start with my first message. Yeah, those are the San Bernardino Mountains. And yeah, I drove down to the Renaissance Plaza just to get some footage with this camcorder. Just decided to do that because it was kind of a neutral place. I was thinking of different places of video recording with a very old camera from the 80s. And I thought that a public place like this little plaza would be perfect. And I would even get a good shot of the mountains around there. So that was kind of nice. I think somewhere in the video I mentioned that, I wonder what people from 1989 would have thought if someone was using this type of camera to record something in 2022. And it is kind of interesting to think about that. And then I'll do my one last message just so we can flash it on the screen there. Yeah, where all the people. I went early in the morning, so there wasn't going to be any people because everything was pretty much still closed. Okay, so I think that's enough footage from the plaza and enough of the Screenwriter Plus. I'm going to go ahead and just share my final thoughts. I think for the time, it would have been a nice little editing tool to have if you were editing, video and stuff like that. I'm not sure if the camera that I use was just not a good camera with the colors that it already had. But I did not like that this thing really just made things a little bit more greener or more yellowish. I would have preferred for it to just enhance the colors, maybe make them a little darker, a little bit more vivid. But I'm not a big fan of yellowish hues on pictures. But it did increase the sharpness, so there's that. I only wish that, there was more to adjust here, but this thing here, the Screenwriter, wouldn't have been a bad little thing just to have to edit video, put messages in a video, if you were overdubbing it. I think that was kind of cool. Sometimes your camera battery in those days might have, gone dead, so you wouldn't be able to put the date. This could fix that, and you could add dates, and you could even add locations, times, etc. Just using this. I think out of both of these, I think this one is probably the more useful one for me. This one, you're gonna run the risk of your video coming out a little bit yellow, although it does make everything a little bit more sharper. I did notice that there's that. And also, if you wanted to put a soundtrack on your video, I mean, this wouldn't be a nice thing to do. Unfortunately, I didn't do this on this video, but I mean, it wouldn't be that hard to do that. You could just put an audio input here, and you know, you'd have music playing in the background. So that's kind of cool. But you know, you have to also consider the fact that in those days they did not have computers, or not computers that could do video editing very easily. So I mean, I could appreciate someone coming up with something like this. I think for what it was, I think it's a good thing that these came out and were, you know, available to the public. And if you wanted to edit your video in those days, they would be great. Now, for modern use, you know, you could definitely do 10 times better. I mean, you could just use your regular software. You know, there's dozens out there, softwares that you can use. So I would not recommend using this today unless you really wanted that retro feel for the video. But again, you're going to run the risk of your colors looking a little greener. Anyways, that is it. Thank you for joining me today. I hope this video was interesting and, you know, nostalgic, because obviously this stuff is from the 80s. But if you see these in the wild, I mean, if you're curious, go ahead and pick them up. But you could do a lot better with just regular video software, and get yourself a VidVox and, you know, run old tapes through composite, and they'll look fine, you know, and you can just do a lot of the sharpness and stuff like that with the software. So anyways, thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a great and restful week. Thank you.